Good morning, friends. On behalf of Higher Education and Gujarat College, I welcome all of you for our subject English, and particularly the topic of The Post Office, a play written by Rabindranath Tagore. Regarding the play in Indian context, especially in English, it needs a kind of depth as well as the understanding how the people of India, the writers of India, started writing in English. First of all, I would like to introduce you with the topics that we will have throughout our journey towards the understanding the play by Rabindranath Tagore, namely The Post Office. I would like to introduce you with the 8 topics that we will have in our study. First of all, the introduction of the topic, about the author, next the plot summary, the character, the themes, the style, historical context, and critical overviews. In the context of all these 8 topics, what and how we will deal with them and how they are going to enlighten us for our study and appearing in an exam, because after all our study should lead us to the enlightenment. As it has been said that Indian writing in English demands a kind of depth in understanding, especially in the case of plays, because play is the higher the level of having the communication between the two persons in a particular language, and here it is the matter of English as the matter of communication. Now we will move towards the topic number 1, that is introduction. In that we will try to see how English came to India and how it influenced the people of India. First of all, it is the language of hegemony, means it was considered earlier as the language of the rulers, and we used to be, the Indians used to be the ruled nation of the Britishers. Secondly, it was a part of Oriental program, or the operation called Oriental Operation. Now, student would be ask me, sir, what is this? Why should we have this understanding that it was a part of operation? Because it is a kind of new thing for the students of bachelors. Britishers had their agenda to rule the nation, especially which is speaking the language other than the English. To rule them, they need to convey their message to the ruled, means the slaves, through the medium of the language. And as we know that if there is no connection between the two people, if there is no language, then rulers cannot rule the country. Now, in that case, they started teaching English as the language of rulers. It becomes the part of that agenda that how to rule well the Indians. Third thing in that topic we will like to know about that it was the Minute of Macaulay that introduced the need of English education in India, and British Parliament immediately thought and believed that this is the right thing to introduce English language in India. Next thing, because of that, the all over the India they started establishing their university, particularly Madras, Chennai, Mumbai and Calcutta. All these 3 universities just established after our first independent revolt, that is 1857. Because of that universities, they demanded a clerk, this number of clerks who would help them to rule the nation, not the officers. But accordingly, what happens that Indians rules or understand the language more than their rulers. The language English becomes not only the matter of the specific class, it reaches to the mass. Next topic in that a medium of expression. Now there we need to thrust upon. Why? Because English becomes a kind of medium of expression for the certain people in India, through which people of India started communicating with the world through the medium of English. Means the injustices of the English or the British ruler were conveyed to the world through their own language, that is English. That Indians started writing in English, that the world should know what is happening inside the India. Now, last thing, accordingly, it becomes the platform to let the world know what is happening inside the India. Next slide, if we can see towards that, how there is the beginning of British drama or English drama in Indian writing in English, particularly in Bengal, because we have to segregate three sections, particularly one in Bengal, that is particularly in Calcutta, second in Mumbai, and third in Chennai, because all their three cities were having the first universities of the British Empire. And according to these universities, people started having English education in these cities. And the privileged classes, or what we can say the higher upper class, higher middle upper class of that society, used to have the privilege to express their feelings and emotion in English. First of all, the experiment of the British drama took place in 1795 in the form of Disguise and Love is the Best Doctor. They were the actually English drama translated into the Bengali, and they were played over there. In collaboration particularly, they used to, there used to be a merge of European, Russian writers along with the Indian, and especially in Bengali writers. The next introduction of the best drama, the first complete drama of Indian writing in English, comes into the picture in the form of The Persecuted, or you can say dramatic scene of illustrative of the present state of Hindu society in Calcutta in only 1831. In the same year, Bengali theatre or the Hindu theatre released the another drama very much popular of William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. Following that, you must have studied the poetries of Michael Madhusudan Dutt, or you will study it in the MA, particularly in the paper of Indian writing in English. He also wrote one drama called Ratnavali in 1858. Following him, Sarmista and Is This Civilization and National Builder were also produced. Following that, Rukmani Dutt produced Manipura Tragedy in 1893. Now, there can be a question in the mind of the students that, sir, why there are so less number of dramas in English before Rabindranath Tagore wrote his The Post Office? The reason is that very few people were having the good command to write in English, particularly the dramas. Now, because of this legacy, why we had this legacy before we penetrate upon our paper, that is post office, the reason is that students should know what happened before there was something called the post office by the Rabindranath Tagore. So this is in brief the idea how Bengal had introduced the drama, particularly in Indian writing in English. Now we will move towards the author, Rabindranath Tagore. Students, before I begin, let us have the look upon his photograph with Mahatma Gandhi, because he is one of the leading pioneers of Indian thinking in India. Means he was one of the most prominent thinker of India when Britishers used to rule India. And he was, from all the means, very much active in the movement when the freedom fighters were used to play their role as to make the nation free. That's why I have brought particularly a photograph of Mahatma Gandhi along with Rabindranath Tagore, because Mahatma Gandhi continuously used to in contact with the Rabindranath Tagore, because he thought there is some solution which Rabindranath Tagore only can give. That is in case of our local, or what we can say, the Indian education system, because Rabindranath Tagore is the founding head, or you can say the base, foundational base for Indian way of education. In case of that, he implemented the idea of, you must have seen in your cities and the towns, the Rashtriya Sala in form of the Santiniketan. Now we will have something about his life and what he had done for us as the one of the leading thinker of our nation. He was, first of all, we should know about him that he was the writer who wrote our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana particularly. He was son of Sarda Devi and Rabindranath Tagore, born in Calcutta 7th May 1861, which was at that time the British capital of India. Now student, why I am bringing this information? The reason is that the British capital itself reveals that how Britishers used to influence the people, those who used to live under their shadow. Means Choran Sako, the place where Rabindranath Tagore born, used to be one of the ruled area, or what we can say the most bourgeois area of the British Empire. British Empire had influenced Bengali mindset better than any other place of India in that particular period of time. Now he starts, Rabindranath Tagore starts writing at the very early age because he was living in one of the most bourgeois or happening area of Calcutta, the capital of the then India. He used to write for the article of journals, newspaper, magazines, and whatsoever. He used to write even literature as well. He has the credit to write first ever short story written in Bengali, namely the Bikharini in 1877. He wrote in 1912 because of during his illness the poetry called the Gitanjali. Student, you must remember that he is the only, or what you can say, the first Asian Nobel laureate who could win the Nobel Prize for literature, especially for India. He is the only person who could win it as the citizen of India in 1912. He used to be in contact with the Ezra Pound and W.B. Yeats. You must have studied it into the modern poets that Ezra Pound and W.B. Yeats used to be the leading poets of the British poetry of the modern period. And particularly there must be some poems by W.B. Yeats and the Ezra Pound that you must have studied till now. So it makes us clear that what kind of stature that Rabindranath Tagore used to have when he was writing Gitanjali, because W.B. Yeats himself has written the introduction to the Gitanjali. Ezra Pound at certain level of time used to communicate with Rabindranath Tagore that what should be done to improve his writing and to what extent his feelings and emotion can touch the people. Means he was in direct rapport with the modern England when he was writing the Gitanjali. Gitanjali wins the Nobel Prize, and because of that he becomes the first writer in Asia to win that prize. Following that, the British government awards him the knighthood. Students, you must know that what is the knighthood, because as being the student of English literature, you must be aware that certain poets in English literature used to be given the knighthood. They used to be the native of Britain only. Now here is the matter of native Indian who has been awarded the knighthood by the British government. Now this is a matter of pride, but at the same time when the massacre of 1919, particularly Jallianwala Bagh, took place, Rabindranath Tagore without the second thought renounced himself from the knighthood given by the British Empire. He was the first person to renounce, or what you can say, to resign from the knighthood in the history of British government. Now you must think about that which kind of mindset the person had who has written our drama, the 1912, the post office. At the same time, we should know about that there used to be a sharp contrast between the thinking and the ideology of Sir Rabindranath Tagore and the Mahatma Gandhi. The ideology differs at certain levels, but at the certain time, for the matter of nation, both of them used to come together and help the nation to make the nation a better nation than the ordinary nations. Now let us move towards the next slide, which will begin our introduction, or what we can say the summary of the play. Now what is post office after all? You know that student used to watch the modern post offices in the cities and the villages. It has been transformed a lot. What does it indicate? Just simply, I am asking for the curiosity. Does it indicate a place only to sit and do the clerical job, to communicate with the people through the letters, or what we can say the epistolary writing? No. It's a place from where there are certain hopes and expectations are related. Means post office is the only place with which our hope and expectations are also related. Today, in the world of immediate communication, say for example WhatsApp, WeChat and email writing and Facebook, we don't think about the condition of the people who used to wait for days for the letter, a single letter that can come only through the medium of post office. Now see, if there is no phone call from your family member, any family member, or there is no email, no communication at all from your family member, what kind of feeling that you can have? So many expectations, so many feelings, so many worries that are being communicated by our mobile, WhatsApp, WeChat and emails. At the same time, kindly think and imagine about the place and the situation where people used to have only one way of communication in the form of letters, and where the post office used to play the role of communicating or linking the communication between the two people. Now at that time, at that period of time, we are entering into the world where there used to be the only way of communication, that was the post office. Now let us go to the drama directly. What is the play all about and how it came into the existence? The play came into the existence within 4 days only. Now you will imagine it must have been written very rapidly, but actually it was so powerful spiritual quotients that Rabindranath felt that immediately he penned down the entire script of the play and produced one of the masterpieces of his plays and the most memorable part of the Indian writing in English, for which Robinson and Datta, this Krishna Datta, opines that the play continues to occupy the special place in Tagore's reputation both within the Bengal and the wider world. In the wider world means that it is not confined to India, Bengal or a particular region, but it is acceptable throughout the world, because it is not only the matter of a particular place or the thing, it is related, effective or relevant from the border to border throughout the world. The next topic of the same slide leads us to how he had been received by the eminent scholars of the Europe. First of all, I would like to tell you that the drama used to play and translated into the major European countries. And in the later part of our study, we will like to share some experience that how and why people used to love and hate our drama called Post Office. There were so many difficulties, as we have seen in the earlier slide, that we will divide our study of Post Office into 8 sections. That is namely introduction about the author, plot summary, characters, themes, style, and historical context of the play. In that case, the last topic, that is the historical context of the play, will be discussed at the end of our study of the subject. Now we would move further, that how the play goes on. It is a kind of 3-act play, that students, those who are participating in the Saptadhara and the dramatic activities of the college, must be knowing that we have to prepare 1-act drama, or more or less the similar size of the drama. Here there are 3 acts of the same play. Now in that case, there are wonderful communication between the characters. It begins with the Madhav Datta, who is speaking to the doctor regarding the health of the little boy who has been adopted by him, who is not his real son, but looking towards the disease that he has got, he is becoming worried about the health of the boy. He asked the doctor that whether the boy can get healed or not, and how to protect the boy if at all there is nothing that can be done in case of healing the bad health or the diseased body of the boy. Now just think about the situation over here. Just penetrate over here. There is a stepfather, not the real father, who is concerned about the health of the boy. Number 1. Number 2, he is not himself is having any child. He is the leading businessman of the village. He is having so many enemies, but at the same time, at the bottom of his heart, he has cream of humanity that leads him, that asks him, that do something good for that boy, the boy who is waiting for the death. He is asking doctor that what can be the way out. It's nearly impossible in today's world that anybody can take care of a boy who is not his real boy in that much concerned manner that Madhav Datta is taking care of the boy named Aman. Now doctor gives his prescription that this boy should not go out of the house. If boy goes out of the house, his health is going to deteriorate. Means if he is getting the air from outside, his health would deteriorate from the bottom level of his heart, and he quotes from the scripture that certain disease cannot be cured from the perspective of the health. Now Madhav makes that a kind of promises to the people that I will take care of the boy, and ultimately he asked the talukdar that if I am on my job, if I have to attend my offices, then in absence of me you should take care of the boy, that he should not come out of the house. Now here it comes to us that how we can ourselves understand that a boy can stay inside the house. Is it possible? No, it's not possible. To keep a child to stay inside the house is next to impossible. Even today, that anywhere, that to keep a young boy inside the house is just next to impossible task. But it comes to the part of Madhav Datta to play his prominent role to provide the protection to the boy in the guise that he is restricted by force. Now, let us understand or penetrate inside the psyche of the boy, little boy Kolaman. Amal takes it for granted that okay, I am not going outside, but let me have my own point of view. My view says that I am a younger boy, I should go out and play with the other boys. I have all the rights to play with the boys outside. But at the same time, Madhav Datta convinced the child that if you stay inside the house, I will do whatever you require. Now, in absence of him, he puts the person, particularly, namely the talukdar, that take care of my child, that if he is not going out, if he is going out, please stop him or inform me. I will immediately take care of him. Now, at the same time, he takes the promise from the boy. Boy, from his bottom of heart, gives the promise to the stepfather that I will not go out. Now, as we all have experienced that boys have their own curiosity, younger children have their own curiosity to know the unknown part of their life, to know unknown facets of the world. They tries to bring out whatever has been not introduced by the humanity till now, and that is what called the youth or the younger age. Now, due to that curiosity, he is having certain communication with the people, those who are outside his house. Now, because of this trauma to stay only inside the house, the boy is not able to express his feelings and emotion with the boys and the girls of his same age. Now, he has been kept in a room. The room has one window, and it is the only way, only passage through which he can communicate with the world outside. That is the window of his room. Now let us go for the next slide where we have the window of his room. That says that Madhav tells to the Amal, sit and read and become Pandit. That generally we do the same thing. That parents are always expecting that my boy or my girl must become the Pandit, or what we can say the master in particular subject. But at the same time, boys and the girls have their own expectations. Now through the windows, Amal tries to capture the vision of life which is comfortable for him. He starts to imitate everything that comes outside the window from the passerby or the people, those who are wandering around. He comes to know, or he observes the world only through the window. Now, only this limited vision of the world, he has only limited understanding of the life. Now, the moment when Madhav says that you sit quietly and patiently inside the house, which will make you the Pandit, or you can say the scholar in your life, instead of going out and wandering around, you should sit inside the house so that in future you will become the Pandit. Now, at that comment, the boy starts laughing. He laughs at the Madhav and says that I don't want to be the Pandit. I am happy what I am. I should not be forced to become something that you wish. Let me go out and reveal the unseen passages of the world and come to know what is not explored by the people till now. Madhav laughs at him and tells him that I need to go out. I need to earn something so that I can provide food to you and earn something to feed myself. Now here, students, you need to focus upon 2-3 things. First of all, as we have explored the mindset of the mother, who is not totally against the freedom of the child. On the other hand, we should go towards the mindset of the Amal. And the third thing that is important for us right now, the situation in which Amal is right now. Now, on the one hand, parents have their own thinking and their own expectation from their child, that their child should not go out and get the disease as their health is deteriorating. Instead of that, they should make their health better in comparison of the other and should study and spend their time to make progress in their life. That is the parental point of view. On the another side, as we have discussed, the Amals or the children's point of view. When the people or the elders are telling, we kindly don't understand what they are telling. The boys and the girls start having their own point of view against their parents or the elders. Now in that case, or what we can say, the confrontation of the two ideology or two mindset, who suffers? The children and the parents both. Now in that consideration, the third point of view that is missing over here, that is the ill health of a child, Amal. That it requires a kind of preservation inside the house. If he goes out, if he faces the harsh atmosphere outside, he is not going to survive. His health is very much fragile. It can deteriorate at any moment he steps out from his house. Now let us move for the another slide, which means the plot summary of the Act 2. Now till the Act 1 gets over, you must understand what is the situation. The 3 point of view we have discussed. The third point of view, Madhav keeps takes the promise from the Amal that you are not going to outside. Amal gives the promise and he, as the obedient child, sits in the window of his room and observes the world. Now here there are introduction of the more characters. As of now, we have seen 2-3 characters, namely Madhav Datta, Amal, the stepson of him, and the doctor who came earlier and prescribed or given his description of having the ill health of our little boy Amal. Now here are certain examples in the drama which makes us very much sympathetic towards the boy who is sitting inside his room behind the window. Now from there he is coming into the contact of various characters of the societies. These characters, namely curdsman, curd seller, the watchman, the Sudha, the flower girl, and the headsman of the village. Now all these characters bring their own message in the play. They play as if they have been assigned certain tasks, but fortunately, as Rabindranath Tagore, as we have seen, that the only Nobel laureate of India in case of literature, amalgamates the entire social aspects seamlessly in the play called The Post Office. Here in the play, there are certain quotations that we would like to discuss. As of now, we have discussed Act 1, but in Act 2, certain puns are there where I have to put focus upon. Now, situation is that Madhav is outside, son is in house, he is sitting behind the bar or sitting near the window. He is observing the world that is outside. He is having the vision of the world, whatever is happening outside. Now there is the appearance of the curd seller who is passing by and singing his song in his own imagination. Now Amal wants to have conversation with the curd seller. He calls him. The curd seller stops and asks for the money. Say for example, any seller in our day-to-day life would expect the reward of money in the barter of their goods. Amal eventually asks the curd seller not for the curd only, but to teach him the song that he was singing at the time of selling his curds. Now curds in our religion or in our social context has been considered as one of the auspicious food or the food for our good health, that is called dahi. Now how to cooperate our cultural scenario with that picture where Amal is asking for the dahi at this place? In Gujarati there are certain prabhatyas. You must remember that there is the mention of the milkmaid at one action or the another. You know that if you read the prabhatyas, especially of the Bhagwan Sri Krishna, there are mentions of curd sellers. Now here the same such curd seller comes and who shares his intimate ideology with the Amal, the central character of our drama play. Now, fascinated by the curdsman and his song, Amal asks him that, can you teach me the song that you are singing? By curiosity of this little boy, curdsman get amazed. How, boy, on the world that you want to learn this song, and for what? The simple answer of the Amal is that, sir, I want to learn your song so that when I come out of this window, out of my house, out of my illness, I should be able to sell the curds. Now, it may shock you that a little boy is asking for curds and selling the curds instead of doing the white collar job. Now, the reason is that you have to penetrate behind it, that he is behind the bar. He has not seen the world outside, that there can be something else also than selling the curds only. He is looking towards the aspect of freedom that the curdsman is having, not towards the herdsmanship that a curdsman is facing by selling the curds only. He is not looking towards the leisure movement that he has been privileged to be inside the house, but he is looking towards the enjoyment of the freedom that can be achieved by selling the curds. That conversation touches the heart of the curdsman, and on the reward of that, curdsman offers a curds without price to our little boy. On the reward of that, more than that, he is telling him that instead of selling the curds, you should become a pandit. In the answer of that, you must quote for your answer that our Amal says that I will never become a pandit. You can read it on the slide, you can quote it for your answer of the university exams, because it is the one of the best incident that takes place in the entire play, where somebody, the local person, has been touched by the curiosity of the little boy. That I don't want to be the king, but I want to be a curd seller. I don't want to be the scholar, but I want to be a curd seller. Why? Because the amount of freedom that you have is not with anybody else. I need the freedom that touches the heart of the curd seller, and he shares whatever he had with the Amal. Now, gentlemen, students, we should go towards the Act 2, and the next person who visits the window of the boy in the play, Act 2 particularly. The second person whom Amal has conversation with is the watchman. Now, watchman in Indian context, we have to understand how and what role they play. In case of watchmen in general, they take care of our residence, our goods and our properties when we are sleeping. Now, instead of having the sleep or the leisure movement, Amal is observing the world outside even in the night. He asks the watchman in the night that come here. He orders him. In the reply of that, watchman asks him, boy, are you not afraid of me? Because in general, people get afraid of the watchman, especially the little children. And at the time of night, no children are supposed to come out and communicate with the watchman, because it is out of the context to communicate and have a discussion or the this conversation with the watchman in the night, because it is seen in our society as one of the, what we can say, the barred activity. Now here Amal tries to communicate with the watchman that what are you doing and how you are performing your task. The watchman, out of his curiosity, tries to know that why this boy in the night time is asking about his activities. That why on earth a little boy is asking me the question in the night. The reason is that the boy is not allowed to step out of his house. Now, because of not able to step out of his house, he is trying to know whatever he can know through the medium of the window. Now, students, in the next lecture we will have the video of the same drama, where you will have the very good presentation of the drama during the Tagore Mahotsav, where you can have your own perception of the drama first hand with the help of the drama. Now, meeting the watchman, asking him, what are you doing in the night? The watchman says that I am protecting the people by wandering throughout the village, throughout the area, going far and too long. I am saving the goods as well as the life of the people by obeying the orders of the king. Now, out of the curiosity, the boy says that you are the man of the king, then what do you do with the king? That is Raja. In case of the drama, it has been named as the Raja. The watchman says that he is looking after the old people of the place, and if you need, he can be available to you. The little boy asks another question along with that what should be done in that case, that if a king himself is coming to him and protecting his life because he is in trouble. If at all a king is careful or worried about the lives of his citizen, he should come, he should protect this boy from the imprisonment inside the house. Now, out of the innocence, he asked the another question, that what is come out nearby my house? The watchman says it is the post office. Now, here is the one of the best part of the story takes place at the middle of the play. That is, can I be the postman who can go away to the distance, out of the boundaries, to the end of the earth, and deliver my letters to the people? One question. There is also another second question, but we will discuss it later. But first question, now you know that why this boy is always standing behind the window. The only thing that attracts him is not the pleasures of life, but the freedom of life. That more than that, whatever you can have, the materialistic pleasure, but the freedom of life, of the spirit, of the innocence of the child, is something which is loved by everyone more than anything else. That is but natural, but human. And in the poem of Child particularly, it teaches us that how little boys can be voiced or can be taken as the symbol of the entire humanity in the form of delivering the human emotions and the feelings. Now, at this juncture of time, all of us feel that at certain level of time, we all are barred behind certain windows, certain rooms, certain places, certain caste, certain community, certain state, certain religion, certain way. Now going beyond that boundaries is our ultimate goal. To break the boundaries, to come to the context of the freedom is our ultimate goal. Now, are we ready for that? Are we craving for that freedom? Or we are behind the bars, behind the windows like Amal, windows of the caste, community and creed, or the windows of certain restrictions that have been given to us by our social context. Just let us focus upon that in the next lecture, along with the presentation of the drama that you can see with the help of Rabindra Mahotsav that took place in the Bengal. Especially, student, in the next lecture, kindly bring your textbook to watch and observe that how a text that is in your syllabus being played by the similar such students like you and others, those who are studying with you, and underline the important lines so that it can be a fruitful journey for you as well to play and perform the play in future wherever you play. Thanks a lot, student.